Your head.
Welcome to the A to Z Roofing Podcast. We're all about treating our customers like family, and today, you're part of our family. Now, here's your A to Z team.
Everybody, we are back for another episode of the A to Z Roofing Podcast, and we are in for some fun today, guys. We are going to do some myth busting. Are you ready?
Let's go.
We're ready.
Okay, so first off, this first one is like an obvious thing, right? Like roofs last forever if they look fine, which obviously they don't. But if you're a homeowner and you don't have any visible problems with your roof, you have no leaks, everything seems fine, you really wouldn't have any reason to replace it. So is it true that if you don't have any problems with your roof, you don't need to worry about getting it replaced regardless of how long you've had it for?
Yeah, what's the old saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But the kicker with that is a lot of insurance companies are forcing homeowners to replace their roof, even though if their roof's in good shape due to the age of it, which blows my mind.
Isn't that standard though? That after, because I've seen with properties that I've owned and certain insurances, they will after 30 years, whatever it is, you'll get a notice and it just says you have to replace it. Is that not standard? Because I thought it was.
I feel like we've only been seeing that in the most recent years, right?
I think that they weren't as big as sticklers about it in the past. Yes, they might say if it's 30-year-old roof and you're selling your home, then it would get flagged. Now the insurance companies are being a lot more proactive and they are doing their own research and looking up permits that have been pulled and when they were pulled, and based on that information, that's when they're making their determination if the roof is old or not. So they're not necessarily doing it based on claims, on sales of the house or anything like that. They're actually doing their own research to see how old the roofs are.
Got it. What about hidden signs? So let's say there are no visible signs, everything seems fine. What are some hidden signs that folks can look for to see if maybe they have a problem that they're unaware of that could potentially cause issues if unaddressed?
Right. So a lot of them are you get your the telltale sign, obviously, is like the coffee stain on the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, the majority of the leaks start around the perimeter of the roof.
So that would be like you could notice in the fascia board, like the underpinnings of the roof, that kind of thing.
You start seeing like watermarks on the fascia board or even rotted fascia board. Those are like good telltales, just to make it a habit of just doing a 360 around your property and looking up. And if you see watermarks on your fascia board, why is that happening? And you can get ahead of a problem before it becomes a big issue.
Myth number 2, all roofing materials are the same. Talk a little bit about some of the key differences between the different materials and why they matter so much specifically for South Floridians.
Obviously, the obvious ones are shingle versus tile versus metal, and then your flat roof systems. But not all roofing materials are the same. There are different types of materials as far as being rubberized versus being a mineral paper. Your rubberized products with your tile roofs, they tend to last longer. They hold up better against the elements. They don't tend to dry out and crack up as much as your mineral papers.
Do you typically use the same materials for all the jobs, or do you vary depending on certain factors, or how do you typically source materials?
We are a creature of habit due to the fact that it's been working for us and we've seen long-term success. So for us it makes no sense for us to change what we're doing if it's working and it's lasting. So we tend to stay basically in our lane, so to speak.
In our comfort zone with that. Basically what we put on our roof is what we feel comfortable selling to our customers, what we would want our friends and family to have on their roof. We would want to install that to all of our customers as well.
Okay, so there's not different grades of materials you put depending on the client's budget. You're not saying like if somebody wants to save some money somewhere, you use a cheaper material. You don't do any of that. It's hey, we're going to use what we believe in, and that's what works.
Exactly.
Yes, to an extent. We do have options. So we do
Okay.
we have a good, better, best option that we present to all of our customers.
Which all three we would put on our own roofs.
Correct.
Right?
So our good is still something that we would still put on our family and friends' roofs. We're not going to anything that's we feel is inferior, and we've had that conversation with customers where they will take our competitors' estimates and proposals and say, hey, they're giving it to me at this. And then we explain to them they're using this product. We don't believe in that product. We won't install it. Therefore, we won't even bid it. But to answer your question, if somebody has budget in mind, or they want longevity, this is their forever home, or they just really want a good roof, but they're planning on selling it and they want to, cut the cost a little bit, then we will provide them with different options. There are some underlayments and base sheets that are better than others.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, right?
Correct.
Myth number 3, you only need a roofing contractor after a storm or after you notice some damage. But like, how important is preventative maintenance, even when there is no visible damage? Because I don't think most folks out there are getting their roof inspected regularly. Is that something that should be on the radar? Should homeowners be thinking that, again, even if there's no problems, maybe every, I don't know, say 5 years, you just reach out and have a roofing company like A to Z come out and just take a look and make sure, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how important is it to have regular inspections done or preventative maintenance done on the roof?
So if again, it's just as a homeowner doing a walk around on the perimeter of the house and they're seeing their fascia board with stains. If you get a contractor on a roof doing just a visual and looking ahead to see if they see anything, it's better to get to a problem before it becomes a serious problem. But the kicker is with your tile roofs, you really don't know you have a problem in the field until it shows inside, or there's stains inside your attic and whatnot, because the big misconception with tile roofs is that the roof tiles are what keeps water out, and that's not the fact. It's the tile underlayment that keeps the water out. But it wouldn't hurt. Actually, it would be beneficial to do a visual check every couple of years or so.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, and my thought process, I'm really big on preventative care, health-wise, roof maintenance-wise, home-wise, all of that. And if you have a primary care physician, you see them once a year, you do a once over, you're not necessarily sick, you just want to make sure that you're healthy, right? People understand that method. It's the same thing with your house, whether it's the roof or even the exterior of your home. You do want to have certain contractors on speed dial. You want to have them in your contacts for you to ask questions, because that's not your expertise, is roof inspections and being able to identify it. And it's not necessarily your job to do that as a homeowner. So you can have a roof contractor come in and take a look and let them identify what you may not see.
What about metal roofs? I think there's a conception that metal roofs are a lot more costly than other roofs, than other options out there. Is that true? And how do the long-term costs of metal roofs compare to other materials that you'd use?
So, my opinion, metal's the best. And it's not even a question. The longevity of it, they give it a 40 to 60 year life term. And then also with your wind loads, your pressures, the hurricane force winds, it's triple the uplift, so to speak, as far as against your tiles. But as far as cost, it typically runs about a third more, but it's going to last twice as long, if not 3 times as
40 to 60 years? Wow, you start putting metal roofs on everybody's house, you'll have no business left.
I love them.
That's a long time. No, it makes sense. Even if it's, again, a lot of people, when it comes to actually getting the checkbook out and making the investment at the time, they're not really looking at it in terms of the longevity of the investment, 40 to 60 years. And you're going to have less problems over time. I'd imagine there's less maintenance issues to go with the metal.
Few less problems. I love them. It's a relief on us when we get to do them, because we know the chances of there being a problem is super minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I would have gone for metal on mine, but the association wasn't having that.
Yeah,
I know.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But some associations are starting to get on board. They are, little by little. So hopefully, maybe your next roof in 20 to 30 years.
Or when the president of the HOA is not in their 70s.
Yeah, it'll be done by 2030.
Yeah.
The association approval. So what about, this is a good one. You can easily fix small roofing problems yourself. So like from a DIY perspective, what are some of the risks or things that you've seen with people that have tried to repair on their own that you've then had to come and I guess fix other repairs? Are there any situations where DIY might be acceptable for roofing repairs? I guess it just depends on the person's knowledge.
More often than not, when we would show up to a project that a homeowner tried to solve themselves, they just added more costs.
Yeah, it sounds like me.
More often than not, it's their logic of thinking of how it needs to be done is typically not the correct way. Which
you can't just watch a YouTube video. Come on, just look it up on YouTube.
Right? What's that?
Piece of cake. I know from where I sit, I'm not getting up on my roof. It's just not happening. I don't need to risk falling or knowing me, I'll get hurt some way, somehow.
No, but I have seen some interesting things where, all right, now we need to tear out a lot more. And the homeowners are like, I can't believe I just tried to do it myself. And here we go.
I think at the very least, if you're going to do it yourself, get an opinion from a roofing contractor on what needs to be done first. And we'll tell a lot of times if we do think it's something simple that a handyman can do or you could do it yourself, we'll let you know. We try to educate as much as we can, but I think that would be the first step before DIYing it. Get a professional opinion first to make sure that it is a repair that should be done by a professional or that is very small enough that can be done by yourself.
You're right, because there are instances where, hey, you just put a little dab of this right here, you're good to go. And we've done that in the past. We show up to a job or an estimate, and it's something as simple as a nail broke through the shingle and you bang it down and stick a little bolt tar on it. I'm like, you're good. Don't even worry about paying it. I was in and out of here in 26 seconds. So those are far and few between, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
what about cleaning the roof? I've had conversations on podcasts before about pressure washing the roof, that you could actually damage it with the wrong type of pressure washing.
You want this one? You want me to get it?
You love this one. Well, a lot of soft washes that a lot of companies are putting out there where they're saying they're not using high pressure cleaning, will actually use chemicals like bleach or chlorine, which are big no-nos in the roofing industry because they eat away the material. Paper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, not all roof cleaning are created equal. There are different formulations of bleach and chlorine that I think that some manufacturers will say are acceptable. I don't know it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a chemist and I can figure out which percentage of this and that. I don't know.
Well, so what they say is, I'm sorry to cut you off, that a 10% mixture ratio of bleach or chlorine is acceptable, but who is policing the actual measurements that these companies are doing, right? And the way we do it is we do a preventative maintenance on roofs that prevent roofs from getting dirty. We spray a product that is a franchise product, Rooficide, ROF-ACIDE, something like that. And it's what it is. It's copper sulfate. You're basically spraying a liquid copper on the roof, and it penetrates the roof. And copper is super algae and mildew resistant. And the product, if you spray it on every 24 months, your roof never gets dirty. So you could apply that to your shingle roofs. You could apply that to your tile roofs. They don't suggest it for metal roofs because it doesn't penetrate the metal, and they don't suggest it for flat roofs as well. So the best way to keep your roof clean is to spray this product on before it gets dirty. And if it does get dirty before you spray the application on, you do have to do a one-time pressure cleaning.
With water
only. But there are proper ways to clean roofs. And pressure cleaning on shingle roofs is a big no. Never pressure clean a shingle roof.
Why is that?
You blow all the granules off the paper. And imagine a pressure cleaner hitting your foot. You'll cut your foot off.
That's no good.
No, you'll have a new nickname, Skip, all your life.
Okay, so lastly, before we wrap up, insurance. I think folks out there probably probably think that if you have damage on your roof, it's going to be covered by insurance. Are there any scenarios where the insurance wouldn't cover roof damage?
I think age is probably the biggest reason why insurance companies deny claims, the age of the roof. If you have a 25 to 30-year-old roof and then a storm comes in and all of a sudden now you have damage from it, I think it's a lot harder for them to say this wasn't pre-existing and this was in fact due to whatever storm came and caused it, versus if you have something on your roof.
But other than the age, most damage would be covered. Obviously, if it's a small repair, you're not going to put it through insurance because your deductibles and things like that. But any kind of like major issue, is there anything you think? I think it would cover most things, right?
I guess every insurance company is different and every coverage is different. And
if there was a repair there beforehand that obviously was never spoken, or there wasn't a claim filed for it. So if you had a repair that was done, it was patched, and then later on, if they see that there was work done beforehand, they might say it was from that instead of this. That would be an insurance question, I guess.
No yeah.
Anything else? What I miss? Any other myths? Anything else you want to share?
Roofing is not easy.
No, yeah. I was going to say one thing.
It doesn't look easy. I don't think people think that.
There is something, because we've had a couple questions of this about how long it takes to do jobs and how some contractors are able to do certain jobs quicker than others. It obviously depends on the manpower that you have, the applications that you're doing, and weather is huge. My biggest challenge with customers is we always put people on the schedule and we say weather and projects permitting, and we never know what each day is going to bring. But weather doesn't always mean raining on that specific day.
Yeah, if it's very windy, you're not getting up there, right? You can easily get blown over if you're not.
Rain, if the roof is wet, it provides an unstable surface, or the material won't be able to adhere the other material that needs to be put on there. Even in the summertime, it is hot out there. So our guys take longer. They take more breaks. It's excruciating up there. And so I think that's just the biggest thing for us as a company and as contractors to relay to homeowners that might think it looks really easy because these guys do it really well and they're like machines up there. But just be patient with the process, because as much as they want their job done, so do we want to move on to the next one as well.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. So everyone out there, if you're having any issues with your roof, or maybe even if you're not, it's been a long time since you've had it inspected, reach out to A to Z. They are a wealth of knowledge and they are there to help you in any way that they can. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you all next time on the next episode of the A to Z Roofing Podcast. Everyone take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Take care.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the A to Z Roofing Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of roofing and that you're leaving with valuable insights and ideas to enhance your roofing projects. For more information, visit A2ZRoofingExperts.com or call 954-22-ROOFS. That's 954-227-6637.